Hey guys, what's up? This is Mark. I hope you know who I am by now. This is week 11. We got 2 more weeks and we'll be done. But I believe that you will never be the same. If you've stuck with it this far, if you've been living out the things that we've been learning together, if you've made working out and eating healthy a part of your life, I believe your life is going to be transformed by God. You're renewing your mind. You're renewing your habits. And hey, you know what? You know what happens a lot of times when we make these commitments, we make these challenges, is that we make excuses. All right, oh, but I can't come. I know I've gotten the text messages and the emails like, oh, I can't make it. Oh, because of this or because of that. Or you know what? Don't make excuses. Guys, you see, I always had an excuse to break a diet. I always had an excuse to not work out. You see, oh, but it's so-and-so's birthday. Oh, but I'm going out of town. I would make all these excuses, and for years, I feel like I wasted my life. All right? There's some times that I got to wake up at 4 in the morning to go to the gym and work out. You know why? Because that's the only time that I have to do it. You know, and people are like, Mark, how could you wake up at 4 in the morning to go work out? And you know what I tell them is that like, I slept for 34 years of my life. You know, now it's time for me to live. And so I wake up, if I have to, at 4 in the morning, and I go and I work out, and I'm not going to make excuses because for years I wasted my life. I could have been living life to an even fuller capacity, fuller potential, and I didn't because I always had an excuse to eat bad. I always had an excuse not to work out. I would say it didn't matter. Did you know this? That, man, it was like 7, 8 years that I didn't look in the mirror. I didn't look in the mirror because I didn't want to see what I looked like. I set all the mirrors in my house to only show me from like my belly button up. I didn't want to see my giant belly. I didn't want to see my big legs and my big butt. I didn't want to see any of that stuff. I didn't want to look in the mirror. I just wanted to look in the mirror to brush my teeth, to brush my hair, and I was out the door because I always had an excuse to not change who I was. Man, don't make excuses. Don't make excuses in your health. Don't make excuses in your spiritual life. I mean, go to church. How many times have you said, oh, but I'm tired, or I've been to church so much in the last couple months and I didn't make it, or I wanted to go to the beach, or I wanted to go hang out with friends, and we make excuses to not spend time with God, or I'm tired, I can't read my Bible, or I didn't pray today because I was so busy. Oh, I'm so busy. We're all busy. Everybody's busy. You're not the only person that's busy. Make time for God in your life. Spend time with God. Don't make excuses for your health. Don't make excuses for your relationship with God. Colossians 3:23 says this, whatever you do, work heartily as for the Lord and not as for men. All right, whatever you do, every single thing that you do in your life, you're doing it for God. Let it be worship to God. One of the things that I like to say every single time that I run is that when I'm running, it's not that I'm listening to worship music. I'm worshiping God with every single step, because in my life, I thought I'm never going to run again. It was years. Years had gone by, and I hadn't even done a little light jog because I couldn't. My body didn't let me. I never thought that I was going to be able to ride a bicycle. You know why? Because every time I got on a bike, I'd bend the rims on the bike. But still, I made excuses. I said, hey, you know what? That's just not the time in my life. You know, I'm getting old. And I was in my early 30s, and I was wasting my life because I had an excuse for everything. Stop making excuses. God doesn't want you to make excuses. All right? Memorize Colossians 3:23. Whatever you do, work heartily as for the Lord and not for men. Whatever you do, the way that you live your life, the way that you work, the way that you treat your family, the way that you treat your children, your friends, the way that you treat your health, do it as you're doing it for God. When you're eating, when you're going to lunch, hey, am I worshiping God with the decisions that I'm making? Am I worshiping God with, sleeping, 10, 12 hours a day and not taking care of myself? Everything you do, make sure you're worshiping God. Guys, I'll see you at the run. I'm so excited. We have 1 more week left. Stick it through. Don't make excuses.